What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Neutral Zone Podcast. This podcast is a podcast for you, but this podcast is a podcast for me. This is a Neutral Zone Podcast. So I just want to welcome y'all to my podcast and welcome to the journey. Let's get into it. So tonight was a great night of football. Today was a great day of football. This weekend was just a great weekend of football as well. Let's just get into it. So first game up was the Chiefs versus the Texans. Anybody other than the Chiefs fan knew the Chiefs was going to win. No, this is no slouch to the Texans at all, but it was just some questionable calls that happened in that Chiefs and Texans game that was very questionable. Even some of the commentators even said, this call is questionable, just like that call is questionable. But we can't overlook the Travis Kelce and the Patrick Mahomes turning it up when it comes into playoff mode. When playoffs happen, Travis Kelce finds another gear. Patrick Mahomes finds another gear as well, which it's great and everything finding that other gear, but it's also great to have the refs help you as well. I'm just saying. Next game, Detroit versus Washington Commanders. Oh man, that was a great game. I watched that game all the way through. Even when my wife asked me to sit down and watch Law and Order, I was watching that game too, and everything. That was a great game. Oh man, I had the Commanders winning that game. And what happened? Commanders won. I had the Commanders as my dark horse in this playoff picture. And they starting to look really good at this dark horse and everything. Jaden Daniels was so poised in the pocket. He was so great in the pocket. He was so great in the pocket. He was so poised, so collective. Feet was together and everything. He throws a pretty ball against man coverage and everything. So, shout out to the Commanders. They found them one. I say that. They found him one. They found him a quarterback. He is rookie of the year. If he ain't rookie of the years in your book, then you haven't been watching football all year and everything. So shout out to the Commanders and everything for going to the NFC championship round against the Eagles. The Eagles did beat the Rams. The Rams that beat my beloved Vikings. Hurts my heart to even say it, but the Rams did lose to the Eagles. Saquon Barkley had 200 and some yards. I don't know the yard countage, but I know he just had over 200 yards and I think 2 touchdowns and everything. So I think that's going to be a great game. The Commanders versus the Eagles. I think those two games are going to be a great game. I think those two games are going to be really amazing. The Chiefs versus Buffalo Bills. We've been here before. We've seen this story happen again. Can Josh Allen, can he get over this hump? That's the only question I have in my eyes. Can Josh Allen and this hero ball get over the hump to get to the Super Bowl and beat the Chiefs? That's the only thing I have questioned in the AFC Championship is if Josh Allen can beat his kryptonite, as in Patrick Mahomes. Can he do it? That's the only question. Can he do it? We don't know. We will find out next week on Sunday. So tune into that game and everything. It's gonna be a great weekend. Tomorrow we got the national championship for the college football playoffs. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. I got Ohio State winning this game. I think their rookie phenom is gonna go crazy, but Notre Dame ain't no slouch either. So I wouldn't take Notre Dame as no slouch. I wouldn't take Notre Dame as we just gonna win over. No, Notre Dame had a tough ride to even get to where they're at in the playoffs. So I got Notre Dame winning this game. I got Notre Dame winning this game. I think Notre Dame will do an upset like they did all the last 4 games they played. They wasn't supposed to beat Texas. They beat Texas. They wasn't supposed to beat Penn State. They beat Penn State. And now they're here. So I think Notre Dame should win this game. I think this should be a game for Notre Dame to solidify themselves as the college football playoff in college football. and everything. So I got Notre Dame winning this game and stuff. And then we off to the off season, and man, the off season looks pretty. For my Vikings, the off season looked pretty. I know some fans is out there wishing their team wasn't in the off season, but look, man, you just got to take it as what it is. Excuse me. Off season is going to help solidify your team to be either good or to be even bad. And then if your team don't have the cap space to cover the off season to make their team good or bad, that's on your team and their budget. But my team has $70 million in cap space, and I think we can pick up some good pieces for our defense if B-Flow comes back. If B-Flow doesn't come back, then we have to direct our line of sight into a new defensive coordinator. If Josh McCown doesn't come back, we got to direct our line of sight into a new quarterback coach and everything. So it's a lot of things that we have to pick up this off season. So this off season is going to be a great off season. It's a lot of free agents that's going to be out there and everything. So I'll be keeping my eyes out on the free agencies and everything. I was watching a little bit of NFL Network, and they was just showing us a couple of things. They was just saying a couple of things about the off season and how this free agency is going to go crazy and everything. So I just can't wait. I can't wait till the off season. I can't wait until this happens and everything, because my team is building on something. I know that, and I can't wait till that moment happens and everything. So off season is here. Off season is now. If your team is not in the playoffs, you are in the off season. So welcome to the off season. But I mean, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I can't wait to these games. I can't wait to the Super Bowl, and I just can't wait to next year football. I'm already excited for next year football. We got the USFL going on in a couple of. I think they start next month. The USFL start next month. I think so. We got that. A little spring football and everything. You got some spring football that's going to be going on really soon. Really soon, my eye is going to be keeping an eye on my favorite college football team is Florida Gators. So I'm always going to keep an eye on Florida. But I also got to keep an eye on my man Deion Sanders and everything. He has a 5-star recruit as a quarterback that's coming in that's filling big shoes of Shedeur Sanders. And can Jordan Lewis do it? Can Julian Lewis do it? I mean, his name is not Jordan Lewis. His name is Julian. So can Julian Lewis do it? That is the question. We do not know. Can he fulfill those shoes? I think he can. I think he'll be prepared and fill those shoes and everything. I think which Coach Prime has built around him, the weapons he has built around him. He built the same weapons around his son that he built around Juju. Pretty much. He built the same weapons around them too, around Julian and everything. They both got the same weapons. Deep threat, big body receivers, got quick slot receivers. The one slot receivers from Texas went crazy. He won the MVP and state championship. I think he was the national player of the year. I think Deion is doing something in Colorado. Now, there are talks that they said that Deion was talking to Jerry, and my thing is, Deion, don't do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to take over that job. I think no man on this earth could take over being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. You have to deal with a boss that's hovering over you. Any move you make, any decision you make, anything, he's questioning it. Your team losing, he's coming down the field talking to the players. I don't think he does it now. Back then, he used to do that big. That used to be a big thing of Jerry Jones and everything. And I think he's like micromanaging these head coaches and everything. And if I'm Deion, I'm not looking to go to Dallas. They don't got the leverage to even draft Shedeur. They don't got the leverage to draft Travis. They don't got the leverage to draft none of the people that he wants on his team. So I believe that don't do that. Don't go to Dallas. Just stay at Colorado. You're good at Colorado. You making good money at Colorado. You doing good at Colorado. Stay there. Stay there. And I get and I understand why teams want you, because the places that you did go to, you made them winning programs. So I get that. I see why teams do want you, but come on, man. Don't go to Dallas. Stay at college. Stay at college football, because like you said in your one interview, it's going to be hard for you to tell a man that's making $30 million a year to do something than telling a kid to do it in football. So it's going to be hard to coach. I always thought it was hard to coach grown men than college and high schoolers and ponies, midgets, kids. I always thought that was that's always difficult, because grown men always got their own mindset. They got their own, their own intelligence. They only gonna think the way they want to think and everything. Especially if they're getting paid $30 million, they're getting paid more than the head coaches. Sometimes, all they gotta say, man, I ain't gotta listen to you. But at the end of the day, you do gotta listen to me, bro. So I just believe that, Dion, you should just stay where you're at. Don't go nowhere. Just stay where you're at, bro. Just stay in Colorado. Colorado's been doing so good for you, showing you so much love. Why leave? Why chance it? The old saying goes, the grass is not greener on the other side. So you know that grass ain't greener on the other side. Dak ain't got no weapons. All he got is CeeDee Lamb. Don't got a running back. You got no cap space. You got to re-sign your best defense player and everything. So what can you do in this situation if you're Dion? Do you take the job, or you say, you know what, I'm going to stay at Colorado? Me, I'm staying at Colorado. I'm not bouncing job to job. I'm making a stink. I'm making a stump somewhere, and then I'm going to make that stump to be the best place that I'm going to be at. And then if that running season becomes really winning season back to back to back to back, and then if coaches are really, really calling for me, then I'll have the idea. Because now I know my son's been in the NFL for a couple of years. He's been in the NFL for a couple of years. He's been doing what he's been doing. Maybe I can trade for my son if I do take this job or take this gig from another head coaching job in the NFL and everything. Maybe I can trade for both of my sons and Travis, and they all can be on the same team again and everything. You just never know. I just say wait it out. Don't rush it to be a head coach in the NFL. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. They're booting them as fast as black head coaches is going in the NFL. It's as fast as they're booting them. They're booting them out of there. And the only head coach that they ain't booting out so far yet is Mike Thomas as a black head coach, because he wins games. But he only wins games in the regular season. He only had that one playoff special memory when they beat Arizona and everything. But other than that, what's he been doing lately? He went to the playoffs again, lost to the Packers. But other than those two playoff runs, what has he been doing lately? What really has he been doing lately? So that's the thing I worry about Mike Thompson. Do the Steelers keep him? That's the other thing. Like, do the Steelers keep him? Do the Steelers want to keep him? I get it. You winning games in the regular season. Yes, that's all cute. That's all fun. That's all hand. That's all great and everything. But when it's playoff time, you're not winning those games that they need you to win, my guy. So what is the Steelers going to do? That's the key question. What can the Steelers do in this situation? What can they do? Like, honestly, what can they do? So, if I'm a Steelers fan, I either let Mike Thomas walk and let him find another job somewhere else, or I bring him in for a meeting and we have a good discussion and we talk to him and we tell him, hey, man, look, this might be your last season. Like, we got to light a fire on you, but we need playoff wins. So you can't go to the playoffs and lose. That just ain't going to happen. You ain't going to be in the NFL for too long if you keep going to the playoffs and lose. Look at Jason Garrett. Look at all these head coaches that lost jobs because they kept missing the playoffs, or they kept going to the playoffs and losing. Like, that's what I'm saying. I also feel like that if the Steelers let him go now, that leaves vacancy for all these fresh coaches like Eric, like Glenn from Detroit, defensive coordinator. Oh my goodness, he had Detroit on fire. I don't like Detroit, but he's one hell of a decent defensive coordinator. If I do say so myself, he's one hell of a defensive coordinator. For all the things that he had to go through, all the endurance he had to go through, like all the players that he lost. I think the one chart said they lost like 23 starters from the defensive side. They're all on injury reserve. All those things that he had to go through for him to even have that defense prepared to play Justin Jefferson, to even have that defense prepared to even play Terry McLaurin and everything. Oh, man, come on, man. I think Glenn should get a job. Alan Glenn should get a job from the Detroit Lions, the defensive coordinator at the Detroit Lions. He should get a job. I also think Gus is going to get a job. I also think Gus is going to get a job at the Oakland Raiders. I think Oakland is going to hire Gus, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. I just believe that Gus is he's one of the premier play callers. Like his offensive mind, his schemes, the way he's running it and everything. Like I said, I don't like Detroit, but their coaching staff is top notch. I give him that. Dan Quinn, he's questionable on some of the things that he does, like going for it on his own 30 and everything. That was a questionable call, but at the end of the day, like his coaching staff, they A1. I'll give them that. They're A1. Both of their coaches, they're going to get head coaching jobs. And if they don't, they're going to come back and just try to run it back with Detroit again. But I think both of their coaches are going to get head coaching job. And I also believe that Gus is going to get a head coaching job, but he's going to trade for Hunter Hooker, if I'm saying his name right. Hunter Hooker. He played for University of Tennessee. And he killed that University of Tennessee. He has a nice arm. He has good accuracy. He's mobile in the pocket if he needs to be. So I also believe that if he gets to the Raiders job, I also believe that they're gonna either trade for Hunter Hooker. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this man's name wrong so badly. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering this man's name, but they're going to either trade for that quarterback or they're either going to go for a quarterback in the draft. That's basically what it is. And everything. So, this offseason is going to be a great offseason because we don't know what coaches is going. We don't know what players are going to team up and go. Who got the most cap money? Who got the most this, that? This is going to be a great offseason. This is actually really going to be a great offseason. So, man, shout out to the Commanders, shout out to the Eagles, shout out to the Chiefs, shout out to the Bills for going to the AFC and NFC Championship. Those two teams, whoever went out of those two games, will be competing for the Super Bowl. So, like I said, my dark horse is the Commanders. I said that at the end of the season that the Commanders can win the Super Bowl with Jaden Daniels. All they have to do is keep playing their game. Keep playing their game, executing in the way they're supposed to execute the game plan and everything, and just keep running their system and everything. So I just believe that can happen. And I also believe the Bills can beat the Chiefs. They did it before, and like I said, the weather doesn't matter. Don't play a count in it because Buffalo is in upper New York and everything, so it's always cold in Buffalo. And Kansas City, it's cold in Kansas City, so they're used to the cold, so the cold don't matter to these two teams. So we can exit that out of the equation. I just believe that Josh Allen is going to be on some Superman type ish, and I also believe that Patrick Mahomes, his kryptonite, is not going to show up this game. I feel like Buffalo is going to have a game with them, and Buffalo's going to show them, like, look, we're taking it over. Y'all not going to get this three-peat. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. And hopefully it's not the Buffalo in the 90s. Oh, that's one thing I hope it is not. It's not the Buffalo in the 90s where they went to 4 Super Bowls and lost all 4 of them. I hope they do go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Their organization deserves it, just like my organization deserves it. But man, their fan base deserves it Just like just their fan base deserve it more than any fan base that's going on. Their fan bases are the most nice their fan base got to be the most nicest fan base in the world. So I just believe that Buffalo should win. I'm gonna pick it now. Buffalo. I got Buffalo and I got Commanders. Buffalo and Commanders. I got Josh Allen going for 20 to 37, 360 yards and 2 touchdowns. I got and 2 rushing touchdowns as well, and 87 rushing yards. I have Jordan, not Jordan, Jesus. I got I don't know why I said Jordan, but Jaden Daniels. I can't talk today, but excuse me, we're gonna work through this. But I got Jaden Daniels. I got he's going to I wanna say 20 to 25, 230 yards, 87 rushing yards, and 4 total TDs. And I got the Commanders winning. I got the Commanders winning. This is not me being biased as the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles, if y'all know that. But at the end of the day, the Eagles are a great team. They are a great team. I just don't like their fans, bro. Like, it's just something about the Eagles fans that just be making you just be hating the Eagles. Like, it's something about their fans that you just be like, oh, I hate this team. I want this team to lose so bad. But man, we just gotta watch and see next week. We gotta watch and see next week, man. Oh man, I was scrolling on my Instagram, and I came across this video of this kid, and this kid was high school basketball star, and from the high school basketball star, he was also smart in his class. Like his SAT scores was like I think number 1. I think he had the like highest SAT scores in his class. He was a nice basketball player. I think he had some D1 offers going on for him as well. But what I saw also in this video is this man decided to go to a music video with his boys. And in this music video, he decided to diss his ops and everything. He decided to diss his ops in this music video. So it got word that they knew who it was, because if you look at the video shows that this man had a Joker mask, he had gloves on. Nobody could tell that was him. So either somebody in his camp snitched and said that was him on it, or I don't know. But all I know, it caught up with him, because a few days later, he was walking with his mom and he got shot dead. And now I won't sit here and say, oh, we could blame the mom, we could blame this, we could blame that. But at the end of the day, we could blame him too. And condolence to the mom. I mean, my heart goes out to you. My prayers and everything goes out to you and your family and everything. But at the end of the day, we can blame him too, because he was wrong for doing that, man. Like, come on, man. You got everything going for yourself. You got life, right? You got everything in your life right in the palm of your hand going for yourself. Basketball, SAT scores, about to graduate, about to go to college and everything. And you decide to say, you know what? I'm going to hop in this video with my guys and we're going to diss the ops. Who cares? Like, no, man, no, I blame him. It's his fault at the end of the day. This is his fault. He did this to himself. He did this to himself. He did this to his family. He did this to himself. Like, at the end of the day, you can't blame nobody else but him. Everybody is entitled to their own ways and their own feelings. They're entitled to their own opinions and everything. That's one thing about this Neutral Zone podcast is based on. Everybody is entitled to their own feelings, their own opinions, their own ways. Everybody's entitled to it. But for nobody, not even his homies, because I also could blame his homies too. But for not even his homies to say, you know what, bro, I don't think you should be in this. Like, you got too much going on with your life. Like, this ain't for you. To be honest, like, if you guys, like, I love rap music, so I listen to J. Cole. And there's one song that he says in Forest Hill Drive, in a bar, he says, he says in a bar, he says that, man, I see you out here getting this cash. What I gotta do to be on? And he said, my man sat back and looked at me and laughed. And he said, if you wasn't a friend, I thought you was joking. I thought you would be a clown to me. Cause you everything I want to be. That's why I fools with you. So he basically telling his man's like, his friend is basically telling J. Cole, like, you don't want to be a part of this life. Like, my boy, you got everything going for yourself. You about to go to college. You about to do all these great things while I'm about to be stuck here to graduate to wait or sell a number 2. For what? $100 or 2 a week? Like, you know what you gonna do if you was me? Like, and he also says, like, I got one brother, one mother that don't love us. If she ain't love us, she ain't never wore rubbers. So it's like, man, like, that's when a homie has to step in and be like, yo, little bro, like, I don't think this is for you. You shouldn't be in here, bro. Like you could post on the pictures, you could post with us on the pictures, but in this music video, nah, bro. I don't think you should do this, bro. Like, that could come back to you, haunt you. That, you know, you never know what happened, and boom, what happened? This happens. So, man, my condolence goes out to him and that family. Oh, man, it's a sad sight to see, especially when you have kids, too, and you don't know what the kids are thinking, too, when they're in that certain age. I know when I was that certain age, I didn't want to listen to my mom, I didn't want to listen to my dad, I didn't want to listen to none of my folks and everything, so I know, man. I just know, man. But it's a sickening thing. It's a sickening sight. It's always tough and everything. It's always tough. So that was tough to read about, and it's tough to say and everything. I also was reading about this whole Trump situation of these rappers rapping at Trump's ball and everything. My thing is like, if they gonna do it, they gonna do it. You can't. What we gonna do? We gonna get upset for them making money? We gonna get upset for them singing at Trump's ball? Like, at the end of the day, they're entitled to their own opinion. They're entitled to their own ways. If they, like, I'm gonna tell y'all gonna hear that a lot from me in this podcast. Like, they're entitled to their own opinion. They're entitled to their own feelings. They're entitled to their own ways. People are gonna do what they want to do, regardless of how other people feels and how other people act. Yeah, is it sad to see that Trump won presidency? Yes, that's sad to see that Trump won presidency, but the world has to keep moving on. Like, the world has to keep moving. Like, rappers are going to do what rappers want to do, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of how other black people feel about what the rappers are doing, regardless of any of that. They're going to feel the way they feel, regardless, because they don't care. They don't care. They just want to make their money. Like, they get it. You voted for Kamala. But some other rappers, because I was reading on it, even Soulja Boy said this, Kamala didn't tell him to come out to Atlanta and sing Soulja Boy Tell Him and give him money and this, that, and the third and everything, which he felt some type of way about. And I'm sorry, I didn't vote for Trump. I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I didn't vote for Trump. But he's entitled to his opinion to feel some type of way, whether y'all like it or not. I saw some people say, oh, this is sad. He looks sad doing this. Look at him. Just do anything for the whites. And it's like, no, it's not do anything for the whites, but it's not do anything for the whites. But it's just like, man, like, I'm my own person. Like, if I want to do this, let me live and do this. Like, why you getting mad at me? Like 50 Cent said, why you getting mad at me? I'm just trying to live my life. Like, if they called me and told me, like, that's the thing. That's the thing with some people. That's the thing with some of this black community people. Like, if If they called you and told you, we want you to come and do either makeup or lashes or hair or, sounds check or anything for Trump, and they say, oh, but we'll give you $500,000 to come out and help us and do this and everything. You gonna tell me you gonna turn that down? You can still have your political ways, but you gonna sit here and tell me you gonna turn that down because your political ways are too big for you to make money? You gonna turn that down? Like, come on, you gotta be honest with yourself too. At one point, like, all right, Kamala didn't win. Like I said again, the world moves on, guys. Like, the world still has to move. Like, I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna like this take, and I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna fools with this take, but at the end of the day, you gotta see it in their point of view. If somebody is coming to you, and now I know a lot of people say all money ain't good money and everything, but you right. All money ain't good money. That's true. All money ain't good money, but if I need the money, I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry. And I know some of these rappers don't need the money, but I know some of these rappers do need the money. And they just fly and they just faking like they rich. So they gonna do it. Like, come on. Everybody got on Nelly for doing that commercial for the cereal brand. Everybody was mad at Nelly for when he did that. But at the end of the day, they paid Nelly healthy. He got a healthy check off of that. Like a healthy check off of that and everything. And nobody talks about that, though. Everybody talks about him doing that with that company. Oh, he sold his soda. He did this. No, man. No. I think he still had his same political rights. His political right was still with Kamala. They called him. Trump won. Like, what are we gonna do about it? Like, what can we do about it as people? Like, that right there, I feel like that right there was like sad to see. I feel like that right there was sad to see that and everything and stuff. And also, I also saw online. We're gonna go back to one of the divisional games. I also saw online that Detroit Lions fans was beating up a visitor fan and everything, made him feel bad, made that person feel bad, stomping them out and everything. And it's just like, y'all wasn't meant to win. Y'all don't know how to win. If y'all was winning, y'all wouldn't be like this, acting like this and everything. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Your team's losing. Now you want to take it out on somebody because their team's winning. No, you can't do that. Like, you just can't do that. That's not how the world works. Like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all, man. And I was also looking, I saw this one video. And this one video, it was AJ Brown. He was getting out of his car. And then as he was getting out of his car, he was coming out of a $30,000 car, a Honda. And it looked like a Honda Civic, if I'm not mistaken, because a Honda Accord is like a bigger version of a Civic pretty much. But it looked like a Honda Civic, and everybody was like, oh, he makes $100 million. He getting out a $30,000 car? What's wrong with that? Do you guys realize that Hondas are cars that last longer than any car? Like, I know somebody right now that's driving a Honda from, I want to say, 1999. And still driving that joint. And that joint still works clean. Still clean. So what's wrong with him driving a Honda that's $30,000? Who cares? Who cares how he spent his money? Like, who cares? He needs a life outside of football after football is over. Like, what you want him to do? Pull up in the latest Maybach? Pull up in the latest Rolls Royce? Pull up in the latest, you know what? Like, come on. All I care, like, my thing is, if you making so much money, just make sure, you know what I mean, your hair's right. Make sure, you know what I mean, your clothes is right and all that. I don't care about the cars and all that stuff. Like, all that stuff will come. Like, but at the end of the day, like, if I'm going to spend $30,000 on a car, cool. It's probably his cheapest car that he spent money on and everything. So I'll applaud him for that and everything. I definitely applaud him, because I also was watching the wide receiver episode on Netflix, produced by Peyton Manning, and I was watching that, and they was showing us Justin Jefferson's house and everything. And Justin Jefferson lives in a regular town. Like, you know, the crazy part is Justin Jefferson can live in like my type of neighborhood. He could be living down the street and I would never know it because he lives in a regular townhouse and everything. He just signed the biggest contract. He just signed the biggest contract as a non-quarterback in the NFL. And this man lives in a regular townhouse. 3-bedroom. He said he only got 3 cars. That's all he needs. And all his money goes to is mostly his jewelry, which most players and most people are going to do is spend money on jewelry. Like, that's just what it is. Like, if I ever got rich, I'm going to spend money on jewelry. Like, just simple as that. I like jewelry. I like how it shines. Simple as that. But at the end of the day, people want to sit here and be all mad how they spending their money. Let them spend their money the way they want to spend their money. Like, you ain't living their life. You don't know. $30,000 on a card? That ain't that bad at all. What? That ain't that bad at all. Like, that's actually amazing. That's literally amazing. So, I mean, it's good to see. That is good to see. That is good to see that A.J. Brown is spending his money the right way, in the smart way, and everything. Like I said again, this podcast is a podcast for me. This podcast is a podcast for you. Man, this podcast is a podcast. I just want to thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for enjoying it. I appreciate y'all for all the views that I got last week. It was 14 views, so I want to say thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Keep listening, keep enjoying, keep commenting, keep subscribing. You guys have a great, 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 great day. Peace. I'm out.